Some just shifted in the market, and most investors are still just staring at tech. And you're not wrong, but while everybody is watching AI stocks, money may be getting ready to move somewhere else. And I'm gonna talk about why. Right? So China is coming back to the US. U.S. agriculture, to be exact. Copper demand could be waking back up, and rare earths are becoming a national security race again. So when Trump says inflation can come down, and when he says markets can soar, and I'm not arguing with the market, I'm just asking one question. Where does the money go next? Now, China and America made some ideas and they came up with some things, and so this could be a great opportunity. So in this video, I'm gonna break down 3 companies sitting directly in the middle of that shift. One dealing with food processing, one dealing with copper, and one dealing with rare earth minerals. Because the next move may not be what everybody is watching. It may be the thing that everybody is looking past. And I may be the situation where we make a whole bunch of money. So before we get into these 3 companies, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm actually looking to get into these companies probably about next month. I want to get into them before June comes because I feel something explosive happening. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe and share this and help us get this video to 2,000 likes. Let's go. The market event that nobody is reading correctly. Every time the world changes, money moves, right? And that's not randomly, it's not emotionally, but money moves toward what becomes important. And so we got to think AI is important. So when AI became the story, money ran towards chips, and then memory came important, and money ran toward memory, and then data became the story, and everything ran towards data, and then money ran into power, cooling, copper, and infrastructure. And now we may be seeing another shift, but it won't be talked about a lot on TV. Trade, food, copper, and rare earths. Yep, rare earths are back in the picture, and it's only because of the conversations that Donald Trump had with Xi Jinping, right? Now, I need you to understand this. Before I get into the companies, I just need you to understand this. This is not just politics. This is not just headline. This is not just Donald Trump saying the markets will soar. This is about supply chains. That's right, supply chain. Who feeds who builds what, and who controls materials, who controls minerals. And if China and the US start opening trade back up, certain companies are standing right in the middle of the money flow. Now think about it, China and America agree that the strat needs to open. And so most people are going to miss this because they're looking for the next tech stock to blow. But Wall Street doesn't only chase tech. They chase movements and they chase trade. And when money moves, Wall Street moves. And so one of the first things China said is we're willing to buy, U.S. soybeans again. Now, we remember how that collapsed the market before. So now we got to talk about agriculture. China's one of the most important buyers when it comes to U.S. soybeans, right? According to the U.S. American Soybean Association, 2024 and 2025, U.S. farmers spent about 22 million metric tons from China. It's about $9 billion. So when China stops buying, farmers feel it. And when China starts buying again, the whole agriculture supply chain wakes up. Now, why is this important? Well, because the first company I want to talk about is in the middle of that. It's called Bunge, ticker symbol BG. The company, think about Bunge as the food flow company. Most people don't even know about this company, but I do. And they should know, but you should. Because Bunge is the largest agriculture commodity company in the world. That's right. They process, they store, they transport, and they trade soybeans, grains, oils, and food ingredients. Again, the average person is not going to know about that because they don't really understand about the market. They wanted to go to the store and just eat, but you want to make money. And so think of Bunge like the middleman between the farmers and the world. So when soybean move, Bunge can benefit from it. When global food trade opens up, Bunge is sitting in the middle. And this is why China news matters, why we need to hear about it. Because if China increases U.S. agricultural purchases, it doesn't just help farmers. It helps companies that move crop. Now, here's where Bunge gets a little bit more interesting. It already shows strength in the exact part of business tied to this story. Think about this. In Q1, Bunge said high results were primarily driven behind soybeans, processors, and refinery. Guidance went from $9 to $9.50. So this is not just a stock story. This is a company where the business is already showing depth and they're already outperforming the market double. Now, let's make it simple. If China buys more soybeans, somebody has to process them, somebody has to transport them, and somebody has to move them through the global system. And that, my friends, is Bunge. And while everybody is looking at tech, Bunge may be sitting in front of the trade. Reopen the story. Ticker symbol BG. So write that down. Now, we're going to get a little deeper into this, but before we get into that, make sure you like and subscribe and share this to somebody because this is going to be important. Next, we're going to talk about why is copper waking up. Now, let me move into this layer because this is important. Copper. We've talked about this before because copper is not just a metal. Copper is the bloodstream of modern economy. That's right. It runs through every AI data center. It runs through every power grid. It runs through every electronic vehicle. It runs through every factory. It's running through your homes. It's running through solar. It's running through wind, not the actual wind, but wind devices, defense, just everything. Copper is important. Now watch this. China is the largest copper consumer in the world. So when China trades, expectations improve. So copper demand expectations can now move with it. America and China said they agreed to do what? Trade again. That's right. So now we're going to talk about none other than Freeport-McMoRan, ticker symbol FCX. Now, this is the copper giant. Freeport-McMoRan is the most important copper company on earth. They move majority operations across Americas. Now, one of the most important copper assets in the world is Grasberg, right? I hope I said that right. Now, I don't want you to just hear copper mine and zone out. So copper is not just dirt and rocks. It is access to material that builds the modern world. If AI keeps growing like it is, copper demand grows. If China manufacturing comes back, copper demand grows. If the grid gets upgraded, copper demand grows. If electronic vehicles, data centers, and infrastructure expand, copper demand grows. And with NVIDIA just reporting those record-breaking earnings, copper demand grows. This is why FCX matters. Now, the company has had some short-term issues. Now, Grasberg recovery has been slow because of operational challenges in 2025. But this is what investors need to think like owners. Now, the company is up about 18-19% year to date, and short-term production delays can hurt the stock. But long-term copper demand, it's not slowing down anytime soon. So Freeport-McMoRan's last quarter showed 2026 revenue about $6.3 billion, net income about $881 million. Well, stock soared. And the balance sheet, well, recent filings showed that they have about $3.7 billion in cash and about $9. So that's really good. So Freeport-McMoRan is not a small speculative stock. It's a global copper powerhouse. And if China trade opens up, which it probably will, if infrastructure demand heats up, if copper starts moving again, which it will, Freeport-McMoRan becomes one of the first names that Wall Street will look at because they control the supply. And when demand rises and supply matters, then Freeport-McMoRan benefits from that. So next on the list is really important. Let's talk about rare earths. They are now the third company on the list. This is not agriculture. This is not copper. This is national security. Rare earths. We've heard the term. But we know AI needs rare earths. So let me explain this in a simple way. Rare earths are materials that are used in high performance magnets and technology. You never even know how important magnets were, but they show up in everything. Electronic vehicles, defensive systems, drones, robots, wind turbines, that's the wind I was talking about earlier, semiconductors, and missiles. And you know, we stay at war with this president. Fighter jets and AI infrastructure. So just think about all of those things, not just the magnets that go in your icebox. So when people say rare earths, don't think rocks. Think control, right? So who controls the materials? Well, whoever controls the materials controls the future. And China has dominated this supply chain for years. And this is why the U.S. is trying to build domestic rare earth production, because you don't want to rely on China forever. And that brings us to U.S. rare earth, ticker symbol USAR. I talked about this stock before. I'm back talking about it again. Now, it is high risk, high strategy play, but USAR is built domestic for the supply chain. Now, this matters because America does not want to depend on China for materials needed, especially in EVs and rare earths and AI. Now, let me be very clear. This is the riskiest name of the three. Bunge is established agriculture giant. Freeport-McMoRan is heavy, but USAR has some risk. And it's the reason why Wall Street is paying attention. It's because US wants dominance in rare earth productions, and USAR has been making moves. Now, Barron's reported that US rare earth had a Q1 sales of 5.7 million. Now, it's not a lot, but sitting on 1.8 million in cash. It's pretty cool. They also acquired some other companies to help them move a little bit further. So let me translate that for you. USAR is trying to move from story to supply chain. That's right. They're trying to build the mines, the processing, and the magnets. That puts them in great position for domestic infrastructure, and that's what America wants. It's kind of what they need when you're going against China. Because rare earths are not just about mining, the money is in the full supply chain. So can you mine it? Can you process it? And then can you refine it? And then can you turn it into magnets? Can you sell it into defense? Can you sell it into EVs? Can you sell it into industrial? That's the game, and that's where USAR is moving to. And if U.S.-China tensions don't cool all the way off, and even if they do, rare earths will still be the thing they battle behind. So rare earths will always stay important. And if the U.S. wants independence, rare earths stay important, which is what we know. So if AI robots, defense, electrification keep growing, which it is, rare earths stay important. That's why USAR matters. But again, it's not low risk. It has had losses, but it's still positive year to date, positive last year. It has some risk involved. It has acquisition risk. It has policy risk. I can't just lie to you and act like it's just gone. But I know they can execute. And they sit in the most strategic supply chain in the world right now. So let me tie it all together. Now look at three companies together. Bunge, we think about food flow. Freeport-McMoRan, we think about copper flow. And then there's USAR, rare earth. We think about critical mineral flow. This is not random. Think about why these were the three things that China and America talked about. And Trump brung all his constituents. This is a real world economy. Food, copper, rare earths. So this is not just hype right here. These are things countries need. And when countries start negotiating trade, like US and China is thinking to come back here in June, when the straight reopening can lower shipping pressure, when inflation can cool, when China starts to buy, when America tries to secure supply chains, money doesn't just move into tech. You get what's called broad-based rally, and money moves into materials, food, and minerals. And that makes the world function. So the question is not, is this the perfect trade? The question is, where does money go when the environment changes? And right now, I can see this being the trade under the hood. It's your boy, the Wall Street Chapter, man. I hope this trade helped you. Comment in the chat and tell us, is agriculture, copper, or rare earth something that you are looking into? And tag a friend. Actually, share this out with him, man. It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper. Salute.